All right, let's do this.
Okay, we are live.
Good morning, all. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. I am Dana Dubois.
I'm Lawrence Winnerman.
That's my best friend.
That's my best friend.
Ooh, how are you doing, Lawrence? It's Fucked Up Friday. Are you ready to talk about some fucked up things?
I'm ready. There are a couple of stories that I am going between. I think I know which one I'm going to pick. But Dana, I feel like we should kind of tell the people that behind the scenes this morning, there's been some, uh, disappointment, I guess is maybe the best word to say.
It feels like it's a little fucked up, honestly. So it feels,
it is fucked up,
and
to be perfectly honest.
especially on the heels of our conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, it's maybe disappointing. Is that a good word?
Disappointing is, yeah, exactly the word.
Yeah,
So
I
I, you
woke
know,
up to your comment, Lawrence, because I'm 3 hours for everyone listening at home. I'm 3 hours behind Lawrence and the rest of you on the East Coast.
yeah,
So I did my bleary eye open and looked at Substack and was like, "Oh God, what fresh hell is this?" So do you want
yeah.
to talk, kind of set the stage, and then we can make our
Yeah, I
statement
want to
about it?
say first, Dana, keep me timely because we've got the amazing Ayana Madrone here, and we're so excited to bring her on. But we didn't want to subject her to this piece of the
Right. Well,
conversation.
this part's personal, Lawrence. I mean,
It
it
is
just
personal.
it is. It simply is. So.
Yeah. Um, yeah. This morning I woke up and I saw that a friend of ours who we've had on the show a number of times, like somebody that we consider integral to the founding of the Daily Whatever show, had posted something that was basically saying like, "Hey, these big accounts that are suddenly talking about anti-Semitism and how the word Zionist is being used, they're on the take. There's a
Right.
good chance they're taking money and getting paid for this because the Israel lobby has all this money and blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And I couldn't help. I mean, I think people know that I recently wrote an essay called Zionist. I chose that title to be provocative, not because that's the word that I apply to myself. Uh, and People know that I am the COO of Blue Ant Media that republished the essay. People know that Dana and I are friends with Julie Roginski, who's also been speaking about this, and Cliff Schechter, who's been speaking about it. And the person said, essentially like, "Hey, like if you're wondering why this is suddenly happening, it's because these people are on the take." And
Yeah.
and I'm not. For the record, I want everyone to know that I am as broke as I ever was. I am not taking
Yeah.
money from anybody for anything. I can
Lawrence,
tell you,
me too.
yeah,
Just the two Jews on the show. Like,
right,
we spent an hour yesterday talking about our lived experiences and having what I think was a very nuanced conversation
right,
about what it means to not even necessarily want to choose this as our identity, and now feeling like we need to come forward because we're so alarmed by what we're seeing.
right.
Not get did not get Did you get your check? Because I keep checking the mail
Right,
and there's
yeah.
no money yet. My bank account, my Venmo, nothing.
Yeah, I am not getting paid. Blue Amp is not getting paid. Julie Roginski's not getting paid.
Yeah.
Friends, with respect, if three or four or however many of us there are at this point, Jewish people in your lives are saying, like, I've said that causes a genocide. I've said it's a Holocaust. I've said Netanyahu deserves to be in prison. His entire government deserves to be in prison. Like, not only that, I have literal proof in essays that I published as long as 18 months ago that I believe all of these things.
Yeah.
And also, the things that I'm starting to hear hit my body like anti Semitism. I like,
Yeah.
in the same way that I'm a gay man, and if I came to somebody and said, "Hey, a thing that has been said is homophobic," if we would listen to a trans person who would say like that is anti-trans or that's transphobic, in the same way that uh, I know that Nieta Green is in the chat, and she was so kind to post a comment backing me up on this thread. And she said in her comment, the people who live the experience. Oh, did you just lose your audio, Dana? Oh no. All right.
I've
Well,
lost
Dana.
you.
Okay.
Uh,
Dana's gonna drop and
I'll
rejoin.
be right
So,
back.
um, if somebody's living an experience that isn't yours, that isn't the experience that you have personal experience with, I would humbly suggest that you should listen to that person, even if it challenges you, even if it makes you consider something bigger than than what you're currently thinking, even if it makes you question if you've done something that might maybe have been out of line. I would way prefer to think that that was done accidentally, right? And that when you hear from somebody's lived experience, you can examine what you're doing or saying and think, oh, you know what? Maybe I need to amend this. Maybe this isn't the right way to say it.
Right.
And that's honestly all I'm saying. And the entire article, that I posted was basically, I fucking hate that word. I don't want to like that. I don't want that word used to describe me. I don't want it hurled at me as an epithet either. And also, if we do this, we are going to play into the hands of the right wing. And I firmly believe that there are entities outside of our own country and our own government that are looking at us and figuring out ways that they can pit us against ourselves, and they have decided that they can peel the Jewish coalition off of the Democratic coalition, and they're trying to do that by using this as a wedge issue. You know, I don't know how to say it differently. It's really disappointing, and I would invite anybody who feels like they have concerns about what I'm saying to please engage me in conversation. I invited the person to come on the show and talk about it, and they declined. So I I'm not sure that shows a particular courage of conviction. Um,
Well
and I would
said,
just say,
Lawrence.
I just think that uh, yeah, I don't know, Dana. I'll stop soapboxing.
Your soapbox is great, and I co-sign it, except for maybe the part I didn't hear. I'm sure it was great. I'm not linked to this live, and when I accepted it last night. I'm just gonna do a little Substack rant from my phone, and apparently that did not go through. So when I went to open the chat on the Daily Whatever show, it popped up on my phone and disconnected me. So I'm sorry about all of that, you guys. My kingdom for an admin to run the tech.
Right.
Um, yeah, just to add a little onto what you said there, Lawrence, and I might have missed this. You may have said it, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. Um, it is a trope as old as time to associate Jews with money. Did you say this already?
No, I did not.
It is. We are both cheap and we are both rich. And that trope, like as much as I have not encountered a lot of anti-Semitism
Not
in
you and
that
me
time,
personally,
my
by the
time,
way.
yeah, no, not us personally, but I've heard that like layered through conversations with people I otherwise care, trust, and love in my life, my whole life. There'll be the, oh, well, I Jewed him down, the little comments here and there. So to hear that trope associated with Jewish people again is well, it's insulting, frankly, and it's incorrect, and it's actually it's dangerous because it's the opposite. I have not lost any, to my knowledge, any paid subscribers for our conversation yesterday, Lawrence. I am far from the most outspoken of this. And I'm certain that the people who are speaking up not only are not getting paid by some imaginary coalition of Jews who are paying for this, we're like most people are probably losing paid subscribers for speaking out. They are showing immense courage in the face of an ecosystem that does not reward speaking out and speaking up about anti-Semitism, and that pays by people, literally saying yes or no each month. So, anecdotally, I know of at least one person who was like, "Oh yeah, I've lost a lot for speaking up." So,
Yeah.
like, don't come at us with this. This is just
I we got to bring Ayana on,
We
but
do.
I will say one last thing, which is, um, last year when I wrote the essays, multiple, where I called Gaza genocide and I called it a Holocaust,
Mhm.
I got a lot of flack from people, right? I got a lot
And
of
Jewish
flack
people.
from Jewish people.
Yeah.
And at that moment in time, what I said was, I have the evidence of my own eyes and my lived experience as a human who believes in peace and love and human dignity, and who, like, what is happening in Gaza and with the West Bank is anti-human, right? Like, it's not just
Yes.
anti a particular kind of people; it is anti-human.
Yeah.
And in the same way, I am saying that when people hurl certain words as a curse, as an invective, we, like, I have no other choice but to stand up and say, hey, there are people that I love and care about who I really respect, who I don't think are thinking all the way through the connotation and denotation of how they're using these words.
Yeah.
And it's just disappointing, but I'm going to continue saying what I believe. Like, astrologically, I've hit a point in my life where I've gone through enough shit. I've gone through enough big transits that, like, I know who I am down to my bones. I am
Yeah.
going to tell the truth. I'm going to speak on behalf of humanity. I'm going to live, my experience and speak my lived experience, and that is queer. That is a reluctant Jew in modern America. That is a person who hates violence and anti-human behavior and anti-constitutional behavior in every form. Like,
Yeah.
here I am. If that's not good enough for you, then I guess we're not friends.
Same.
All right.
Same. And it is this very strange feeling, Lawrence, to be up here being like championing Jewish causes because it's
I,
something that I've just um
I chose not to be bar mitzvahed at the age of 12, people.
right, right. It is a
I have
strange
struggled
spot.
with my religion so long.
Yes. And same. And also um we speak up whenever we see injustices like this. It's just weird that this one includes me, it includes us.
Right.
And so we have more intimate knowledge of this, and it's Lawrence, I have this, like, you have spoken about this feeling of dread of like, oh my God, this is gonna rip, this is gonna tear us apart, and we're gonna lose these midterms that we have every data point suggests we should win.
Yeah.
And so I'm feeling very helpless as this is rolling out of like, yep, this is the playbook. We're gonna come and say this, and then they're gonna come say this online, and we're gonna end up in this fractured place, and we're gonna lose.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do about that other than to open our show by speaking out. So
Right. Yeah.
thank you for letting us have our little moment. It's very strange that it's happening right after our show yesterday.
Right.
And
And
let's bring, yeah, let's bring Ayana
let's
on.
change up the energy, like,
Shake it off. Okay.
Ayana Madrone, welcome to the
Hello.
Daily
Daily
Whatever
Whatever
Show.
Show.
I so sorry that you had to, like, sit there in silence as we kind of did that, but we really appreciate you. We appreciate you being here, and we appreciate your patience.
Well, I'm sorry that you are going through that. That the entire Jewish community is going through that too. There's nothing more heartbreaking than feeling betrayed by somebody close to you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
I'm so incredibly sorry.
Thanks. I appreciate that so much, Ayana. And I don't know what else to say, right? Like, I'm sorry for the Palestinian. Like, even as you said that, I'm sorry to the Jewish community. I'm like, and the Palestinian, and everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, absolutely. Like, I just want to hold up everybody who is hurting right
Mhm.
now, and whoever is dividing us, whatever is dividing us, I want to heal it and fix it.
Yeah, violence only breeds violence.
Right. Right.
It does. That's why. What is war actually good for?
Yeah,
Absolutely
honestly.
nothing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're just victimizer cycle that goes on and on.
Right.
You cannot solve problems with violence.
Right.
It doesn't actually work. There's
we've
always a
talked about this.
sacrifice.
on the show before, Ayana. I think you've probably seen Dana and I talk about like generational trauma and how we think as Gen X and millennials and the following generations that part of our job is to heal whatever trauma we've got so that we're not passing it on to our kids, right?
Absolutely.
Or our nieces or nephews or whatever. And I know as a mom, you speak so eloquently about being a mom and being a kitchen witch and kind of understanding the energetics of kind of passing energy along. And you know what? I'm realizing we didn't give you a chance to introduce yourself to the
Yeah.
crowd. So, Ayana Madrone, kitchen witch, soil scientist, amazing person extraordinaire. Would you like to
Oh,
introduce yourself to the Daily Whatever Show crowd?
thank you. I'm Ayana Madrone, and I share a lot about ancestral wisdom, connecting to your intuition, so intuitive magic. And yes, I do share about kitchen witchery, but it's so much more than that too, because I'm connected to the in between. I'm connected to the other realms. So you could say I'm a hedge witch, you could say I'm a hearth witch or a green witch, but really I'm just kind of all of it. And I think most of us are. It's just what are we focusing our energy on right now? What is really like filling our cup? What are we feeling called to? And so that depends on the day for me. But it's always, me reaching for that intuitive connection first, and calling on my ancestors too. Over the last couple of years, there's been a lot more of that coming forth for me. And when you're talking about healing generational trauma, that's kind of interesting because I have an article coming out next week about my family line and what I'm trying to never pass on to my daughter, because that is what it's about. And strangely, and I'm sure you guys have experienced this to some degree too, I feel like I'm kind of parenting my parents and my daughter at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Because they aren't doing the work. And so I'm trying to train them and teach them how not to pass on stuff to her, but also how to hopefully, figure some things out for themselves. So it's kind of a weird position to be in. It's a lot.
My gosh.
Yeah.
I would love to know if you're willing to give a sneak peek from your story. Like, what's one of the things from your story that you are trying not that you're trying to heal before and not pass on to the next generation? I'm so curious.
Religion is one of them. Like relegioning yourself to something, giving your power up to a system rather than standing in your own power, which is what a lot of religions do. It's not about actually giving you something, it's about you giving up something. And the reward is just never enough. And unfortunately, a lot of people do it because they need community. And I get it because I grew up in a cult. I grew up in a Christian Pentecostal evangelical cult. And when that's your whole world and your family and your community, it is so heartbreaking and so difficult to leave and start over and feel like a fish out of water. But it's essential that we do it because that's kind of what we're here for, as we were just talking about. Like, that's our job, is to go through these trials, tribulations, and figure it out and heal for the collective. And, as somebody who is a healer, which I do think all of us are here, we're playing our roles in different ways, but that's a part of it. You have to go through difficult things. And so if you've been really struggling and not enjoying the fact that life has been so difficult for you, I'm sorry, but it's also probably because you have a pretty big calling.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's so many things I want to respond to in what you just said.
I know.
Sorry.
The first one I have to say,
No,
Lawrence,
it's great.
is how many amazing women have we had on the show who have led with, I grew up in a crazy religious cult and now I'm here. So Substack seems to be a spot where women like you can find community. And I have we have a short roster of women who, if you haven't met already, you should meet. Stephanie Drury, Melissa Corrigan, Andrew Watkins. Who am I forgetting, Lawrence? There's so many.
I know there's so many. It's interesting. I read an article recently, Ayana, about how in the therapy community, there's a term. They talk about how part of what they're seeing broadly is the one person in a family system who finally comes forward and says, like, I'm fucked up. Like I'm dealing with all this stuff. Like, like it's my family, it's my, you know, my mom, my dad, my stepmom, my grandmother, my grandfather, my kid, you know, and they're calling that person the presenting patient, right? Because it's an entire like family lineage, ancestral lineage of whatever it may be, you know, abuse or alcoholism or whatever.
Well, and they
And
usually kind of go together.
right. And you know, and that's just such an interesting way to think about it, because it is like a disease, really, you know, where like if you're discovering a family that has, you know, I don't know, hemophilia, or I'm trying to think of another, you know, big genetic disease like that that kind of
Yeah.
presents generationally. And so yeah, I don't know that I have a point there, other than what you were saying just made me think of that. And it ties into kind of what we were just talking about, you know, I feel like Dana and I feel like our job is to heal that, like go heal your stuff, go do your work, and then bring the healing to your children and your parents and everyone else in your family who needs it.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you keep seeing the same pattern in your life, the same type of people, the same type of experience happening over and over again that you don't like, it's probably because you need to make a different choice.
Right.
Because once you break whatever that pattern is that you came here to learn how to do, it disappears from your hologram. I've literally had people that should be around just vanish because they no longer were a lesson for me.
Yeah.
And so, like, even though they lived in the same area, were, you know, going to all the same places, they just disappeared. So I guess that's just a little piece of encouragement if you feel like you're just stuck. Just make a different choice.
Yeah.
I kind of needed to hear that today, so thank you.
Aw.
I think we all need that reminder sometimes.
Yeah.
I have one more question because I'm curious, and then we're gonna hop into Fucked Up Friday.
Okay.
You grew up in this deeply religious cult, but you said at the beginning that you speak to other realms, that you have this ability. How young were you when you realized it, and how did you reckon with those two opposing forces?
You know how some people say, "Oh, I woke up at this age." I think I've always kind of been awake. I've just been, you know, suppressing what scared me.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I was little, and this might be too woo-woo for people, but when I was little, I remember laying in bed and levitating from my bed. And I remember seeing like a being reach in and try and like open the door and turn on the light switch. And I was like, I don't even know how to process that, you know, because all I was taught about was demons and and the devil.
Right.
And so I lived with a lot of fear growing up, but I was always aware. There was a lot of just like I heard things, I would see things, I would know things before I should. And I kind of just suppressed it for a very, very long time. And so for me, part of what I'm healing too is just like not doing that at all for my daughter and letting her just come forth with whatever comes up. And it's been so fascinating because she is so powerful. She's so powerful and so intuitive and connected. And so it's been very healing for me to do a little less on that front than my parents did.
Isn't it wild how I find this time and time again, and I have two daughters who are 16 and 18, so a little older, but with each stage of their life as you parent through, you realize things that you were like, hey, like it brings stuff back up from your own childhood. My most recent one was helping my daughter go through college applications. And like I had a pretty good upbringing. My mom is great and all that. And also, like Lawrence and I talked about this, no one helped us. Like we had we were on our own, and in a way that was empowering, Gen X, blah, blah, blah. But also we applied to very unrealistic schools in terms of expense and maybe didn't quite get the educations we should have. We both went to University of Florida. It was fine in the end, but like I didn't want to just settle for fine. I wanted to make sure that my child really
You're like,
explored what she
I want to be
wanted.
able to go to an Ivy League if I want to.
Right.
And I want her to be able to if she wants to. I feel that too.
Yes. And then also the whole like money part of it, just being transparent about it. And I was like, no one sat down and did this with me. It was just a sort of like figure it out.
Knew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, I mean, via getting into a bunch of debt I shouldn't have gotten into. Like
Mm.
there was no guidance on that part of on-ramping to adulthood. And I don't know
Mhm.
that there was an awareness that there should be. Parents were just sort of like, well, you're 18, now you're an adult. And
Yeah.
maybe they didn't know about the predatory credit card things. I think those were new when we went to school. And I'm sure there are things I'll miss, but that idea of like, once you do it as a mom, you see it differently as the child you were. And you
Absolutely.
recognize those opportunities to make a difference. It's pretty interesting. It makes for very good essays. I can't wait to read yours.
It sure does. I've been definitely delving more into personal stories when I'm writing, which has been really fun, and great for processing stuff too, reprocessing. But yeah, I hear you. It's just you want so much more for them. You're like, is there any way for me to shift this into a place where they can do anything they want to do, where I'm not going to hold them back in any regard. Um, and sometimes that's a small step each generation. Sometimes it's much larger, um, and that's okay.
It is. It is funny raising kids without a religion. One last thing. Sorry, I keep being like, wait, just
It
one more
is,
thing. But
yeah.
my daughters were raised with no religion and no
Mm.
sports. I grew up in a house with a father
Mm.
who was like gambling on all the games. It was constantly in the background, in the car, at the house, always. And as a result, I loathe professional sports. I hate the sound of it.
Mm.
And so my kids were making a comment the other day. My daughter was like, I don't know how baseball works. Like she just has no idea what happens and she's like, and I don't like it because I feel like I'm such a girl. I don't know sports. And I'm like, sorry, we didn't indoctrinate you. And I feel like religion and sports are like the two things that most Americans can connect through.
Sports are a religion.
They are.
I would
And
say
I'm
in most
like,
countries, like the level of energy and anger and hope and joy that comes from your sports ball teams is immense. And
yes.
I mean, I grew up playing sports, so for me, it was really an escape. And I loved, I loved soccer. I
Me
played
too.
basketball too, but it was just a like gap filler
Yeah.
because like the winter was really hard and mentally I went into pretty deep, dark places during the winter. And so I
Oh,
needed something to kind of like keep me out of the house and active. But yeah, soccer was my true love. I played for like 11 years.
oh, amazing.
Yeah.
What
So
position
I
did you
get
play? Were you
what?
offense? Were you fullback, striker?
I'm kind of funny because I actually am a right-handed person, but I am stronger with my left foot, and I was also stronger with my left hand in sports. And so I would usually put on the left side in some place. Like I was fast enough, I had enough endurance, I could play midfield, I could play defender, I could play as a forward. So I really kind of it depended on what they needed. I was kind of their whatever whatever you want. And I liked that because I like variety.
That interestingly, I also played left defender because I could kick
That
left.
is so interesting.
Yep. But I did when they would put me at halfback, I'd be like, oh, there's so much running.
There is. I know. So much running.
Midfield is exhausting, and I never had
It is.
the instincts to score, so I never played offense. But
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you need good defenders. I mean, you need good defense to have an offense at all. So we
right,
were
I'm
kind of
feeling
the
like
backbone of the team.
this is like a metaphor for my life. I never had the instinct of how to run in and score, so I was a defender. And
That's
Karen
so
is saying,
bizarre that we were both left
yeah,
left side defenders.
I just want
Oh,
to point out, Karen is saying in the chat, I can see Ayana playing soccer. Capricorn with all those cardinal planets would make her fierce.
oh, I love tackling people, and I rarely fell down. Actually, I had to learn because in basketball, you are gonna laugh because I'm 5'4", and
me too.
sometimes, really, sometimes
Keep
they put me
going.
back as a post because I was so tenacious and like good on my feet that they would just like put me back there sometimes if like whoever else got fouled out or injured. And so sometimes I'd be a post up against these like 6'2", like stocky, like strong women. And it was a little terrifying, honestly. But I had to learn how to flop because like it was better for the team if I did, because then there would be a foul and I could shoot and all that
Right.
good stuff. But
Right, they were like, someone knocked down the short girl. That's not cool.
I know elbows
my
to the eyes and the face and the throat, not the best.
Oh, yeah. Oh my
Oh my.
gosh.
Oh,
We're gonna
shit.
obviously have to have you back because we could literally talk to you for 100 hours and not run out of things to talk about. But it's already 10:37, and
I
part
can't
of that is
believe
our
that.
fault. But we should jump into Fucked Up Friday.
Okay, let's do it.
We should.
So, Ayana, the way this works is you get to choose as the guest whether you want to go first, second, or third. We used to let people go first because we thought that was like a courtesy, and then we realized that the person who goes last maybe sort of tends to win more. I'm not sure if that's always true, but so now we just let you choose. You get to pick first, second, or third.
Great. I don't know. I don't really care. I mean, if you want me to go first, I will. I was telling Lawrence earlier that I just kind of went down a whole rabbit trail. So I actually wrote an article about this that just came out.
Nice.
Oh,
And it has like my personal story in it. So this doesn't, but I'm just gonna read it to you
yeah,
guys.
go for it. Entry
Okay.
number 1 in Fucked Up Friday. Ayana,
Okay.
go.
I'm gonna say you're getting a lot. Jason Gale in the chat is really, really wanting you to go third. So I feel like that's fair. If we're getting strong vibes from the audience that you should go third, I think we should.
Oh yeah,
let's roll with it.
Yeah. So, Dana, can you go first? Because I've literally got to find my link for my article.
I absolutely can go first. And I was playing with some very silly stories of the weird that I was like, I feel like I need some lighthearted stuff this week. And I found a story about some company that was dyeing doves pink or blue for gender reveals, and then the poor birds were getting killed because they couldn't get the dye out. And I found another story in China about some company that lets you make AI ex-boyfriends or ex-partners, ex-boyfriends or girlfriends, or and then you can talk to them and have them around. It's supposed to be for closure, but people are using that for weird shit.
For sure.
But then last minute, right before I came on air, I searched on something based on my personal lived experience. And I want this to be my Fucked Up Friday story because it might explain things about me this week. So I'm going to grab the link here because I did not even get this to Karen, our amazing moderator. So this story is actually from May, and it is titled, FDA claims there's no shortage, or there's no estrogen patch shortage as women struggle to get prescriptions filled. So I haven't really talked about this much on air, but I am on hormone replacement therapy, HRT. I am a woman of a certain age. There was a whole generation of women before me who, based on a debunked study, avoided taking any kind of hormone replacement therapy as they went through peri and regular menopause. That study has been debunked. These patches are now available, or like these medications are now available mostly in patches. I went to my naturopath a few years back and was like, I feel like I'm dying. My joints are on fire. My limbs weigh 5,000 pounds. I'm so dizzy. I'm so lightheaded, like I'm dying. What is wrong with me? And she was like, you just need to go on hormone replacement therapy. And it is amazing. It is like the difference it made was life-changing. And so I've been taking that. And have you guys ever been on a medication that you take chronically that you're like, I probably don't even need that anymore? And it's like the med's working so well, you just don't think you need it anymore.
Yeah.
I have not been able to chase down these fucking patches. And
Wow.
yeah. And so the way that they work, you get a certain dose, right? Based on whatever your doctor thinks that you need. You have your levels tested. And I think the dose that I take for the patch is the most common one. It's 0.0375. And it's a patch you change twice a week, and then you take progesterone orally to balance it so that you don't have estrogen run amok. I don't quite understand how the magic works. It just does. I have not been able to find this patch, and so I've been spacing them out for a really long time. and have effectively just not had my correct dose for weeks.
Mm.
I finally found a really local pharmacy here that I've been meaning to switch to. Lawrence, you may know this one, Bob Johnson, up in North Seattle. It's
Yeah.
like a mom and pop pharmacy, independent. They were like, we have it. And I was like, oh, thank God. But me
Right.
being me,
They're
it's
a compounding pharmacy too. Like
Mm.
that,
yes,
it's where
they
you go
are.
to get all your weird prescriptions
Yes.
in Seattle. Yeah.
And you
How
walk
did
in,
you guys
it's
meet?
fourth grade.
Okay, so you guys both lived in Washington, or
We
No.
grew up in Florida, which is where we met in the
Okay.
4th grade.
okay?
And then I moved to Seattle in 1994, and Dana moved there in 96?
96.
6?
6.
Yeah. So Dana's still in Seattle. I'm now in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We have been besties for a very, very, very long time.
Forever.
Very
You want
nice.
dirt
I was
on
like, I know
Lawrence,
you guys
I
are
got
on different, like in different parts of the country,
Yeah.
and I was pretty sure you were saying you grew up and went to school together. So
it.
West Coast, I love it.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm from Oregon.
Oh, beautiful. I
Oh,
love it there.
Mhm.
Love
down there.
Oregon.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this is 30 years. This month is 30 years in Seattle. April was 30 months in Washington. So
Wow.
it does feel really great to be here. But so this wonderful pharmacy, they had it, but by the time I like a week later went to get it, they were like, oh yeah, we're out too. And so then I had to like contact my naturopath's office, and I got the pharmacy to tell me all the doses that they did have. And so I was like, these are the ones they have, some are less, some are more. I don't know what you recommend. And so my brilliant doctor was like, here's the one that's double your dose, cut it in half when you get it. And so I went, and then they didn't have there was insurance, blah, 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 blah. I finally last night put this on. It'll probably take a week until I feel like me again, but regular listeners may notice like I'm so fatigued and I can't find words. Like I'm fucking stupid. But this is my fucked up Friday story because this is a women's issue mostly. I
Absolutely.
don't know if I don't know if hormone replacement for trans folks is different. I imagine the dosage is quite different, but I don't know if they're having the same supply chain issues. I just know, like, I was at a gathering last night, a little party, and I mentioned this, and they were like, "Oh my God, yeah, me too." Like, this is quiet. Like, this is women. We just suffer quietly, and we're all like, "Oh yeah, I can't fucking find it either." And the NBC story that I found from May is like, "There's no shortage. We're keeping up."
Oh my gosh.
And my state, Washington, there is now an official executive order because our governor is amazing that like women who are in perimenopause and menopause have protections at work. I literally called in yesterday. I took a sick day because I was like, I feel so gross and out of it. And dizzy. I don't feel like I should drive. So this is not a like, oh, I don't want my skin to look like wrinkly and
No.
like people belittle
Yeah.
women's discomfort and things. And also we don't study women's health enough. So
Mhm.
people are just like, oh, hot flashes, whatever. I've never had a hot flash. That is not my menopause. It's very different. And I did not know this till I went through it. And so this is another healing generational trauma. Gen X women are like living their experiences out loud in ways that women before us never did, because it was like, shh,
Yeah,
you
don't
talk
tell
about the
anybody
changes.
until you're in it. Then you get to
Right.
suffer in silence too.
Right. And it's actually being in menopause, if you can be on HRT, is pretty great. You stop having the 30-day cycles. Everything feels calmer. Like it feels like this empowering leveling. Maybe I will write about this.
Please do.
When you don't get
Yeah.
like, I've been on this medication now for years. And so being inadvertently taken off of it, or at least differing levels, this week just finally hit a wall. And I was like, let me Google that and see what I can find. And the first thing I find is, oh yeah, there's no shortage. Like, just yes, demand has gone up because it came out of some black box restricted category, but the FDA has not yet included it on its list of drugs in shortage. Anecdotally, I'm saying we're in shortage.
Yeah.
And my stupid brain
Sounds like it.
is there the words.
I'm
I'll be
so
better by
sorry.
next week. No, thank you. It's okay.
I mean, you do need to share about it though. Like if you're comfortable, that's really important. I mean, I'm going to be 36 in December. But I've been, experiencing a lot of things, that are perimenopause symptoms, including like having 60-day like weird cycles and other stuff. The brain fog, the weirdly like cold sweats and hot sweats. So,
Interesting. Have
but
you had
like
your
no one
levels
talks
tested?
about it. No
Right.
one talks about it. And like we need women to start sharing and making all of us feel more empowered through this, because it
Yes.
is not okay that basically like we get to suffer through, if we are going to have a child at some point, we get to suffer through that, and then we get to suffer even more for much longer alone in silence, and we're supposed to just
And
And
the
with
grin
funny
and
thing
bear
is,
it.
the contrast to men's hormone health, right? Like I feel like the first Gen X man that hit andropause, where testosterone levels started to drop, suddenly they're like, oh my God, no, testosterone therapy. Of course, you've got to be on it. Like every guy I know is on testosterone therapy.
It's
That's a
true.
gay man thing too, I think. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yes,
It's
fair
really
caveat.
becoming more prevalent, like for all men. Like I
Yeah.
have a naturopathic friend, and
Excuse me.
he like that's how he grew his clinics, was from hormone replacement therapy for men.
Yeah.
Because most people's T levels are pretty low, or at
Yep.
least for men. But yeah,
For
some women
women
too.
too. I know
Yeah,
some women
yeah.
in menopause who are being prescribed tea, and I haven't gone down that route yet. It's not as well known, but
Mhm.
I mean, imagine if there were like a Viagra shortage. It would
Right.
never
For sure.
happen. It would never happen. It would just be like, ah,
Well, they
Right.
don't mind if women are like losing their minds more.
right.
They see that
Completely
as
fine.
beneficial. And so like what a lot of people may not understand who are here listening is like this actually does impact your brain function significantly.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it can actually like kill brain cells and stuff. So it's not a small thing. And like, yeah, thank you for sharing, Dana. I'm sorry you're going through it, and
It's
hopefully things
okay.
will be remedied soon.
Yes,
So
I have
heartbreaking.
I have sweet hormones taped to my abdomen, and
You're getting the juice.
we'll see how long it takes till
Oh,
I feel like and to be fair, I have been burning my candle at both ends and all the middle parts. I have not it turns out having a full-time job and a full-time writer, podcaster career, and being a mom, hold on, I might be about to sneeze again, is a lot. So it is hard to separate. But I'm like, my God, why is everything feel like it's falling apart this week? I feel like I psyched it out. Now I'm not going to sneeze. But this is why. I was like, it's because, Data, the medication that you feel like you maybe don't need because it's working so well, you actually do need it, and it's
Yep.
keeping you stable. And that's with that being knocked off balance. Like I was just barely holding on, and now I'm like, just it all tumped over a bit. So if I'm a little dumb or short on words, you guys, it should clear up by next week, because I now have I think it's supposed to be a 3-month supply, but since it's double, because I'm cutting it in half, I think I have a 6-month supply.
That's great. You just gave me a brilliant idea. I know how to solve the Strait of Hormuz thing. We just need to tell President Trump. I can't believe I just used those words together. I vowed to never actually call him that.
Right.
Viagra goes through the Strait of Hormuz. There's a Viagra shortage. The chemicals we need to make Viagra are being throttled in the Strait of Hormuz. That's the way to get it reopened.
I don't think that's
brilliant.
enough to fix the problems he has going on with his
that's true,
current
but
state of affairs.
He's so vain, and there's that young blonde aide that is apparently he's having like a romance with or something. I don't know all the details.
The one who might be his nurse also.
Right.
Yes, I read about her a little and was like, "Your poor job, honey. I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
It's
all right. We should keep rolling.
Yes, we should keep rolling. So I do want to say one last thing, because I keep saying that today. Lynette in the chat said, I was thinking about this HRT issue when I was reading your America Hates Women story, which is on Blue Amp. I didn't even put this in there, but it absolutely could be in there. And I'm going to be talking about it on Blue Amp with Ellie Leonard at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So that story. Yes.
Reminder
Lawrence.
to me, set up 1 p.m. for Dana
Yes.
and Ellie.
Yes.
Okay, here's mine. I'll be very quick. There were a couple I was choosing from. This is the one that makes my blood boil the most. So we all know it's the 250th anniversary of, America's founding. There was a committee that was set up years ago by Congress called America 250. And they had a plan, and they had a fundraising organization set up. They had money allocated through Congress, and they had a whole plan for what they were going to do for the 250th birthday party, right? Well, then Trump gets in.
Oh boy.
And he says, no, that's not what we want to do. It was apparently going to be like the biggest music festival that the country had ever seen. It was going to be like Lollapalooza and Lilith Fair and every giant music festival you've ever heard of, all combined together in like one amazing week of incredible music. But he was like, fuck that, I don't like music. So he changed it, and he set up an organization called Freedom 250.
Of course.
Well,
Of course.
Freedom 250 was not congressionally authorized. It was an executive organization. So he got to pick where in the hierarchy of the executive branch of the government he put it. He put it into the National Park Service. And basically, as a subsidiary of the National Park Service, it got automatically access to every corporate sponsor who has ever donated to the National Park Service.
Okay.
And they then proceeded to run a wire scam where essentially they cold called every corporation in America that has ever donated to the Park Service and said, we need you to donate to Freedom 250. And if they said, oh, well, no, we already donated to America 250, or we want to donate to America 250, they said, you're not allowed. You're not greenlit to donate to that organization. The one that you're greenlit to donate to is Freedom 250. And so the corporations that just, maybe didn't realize it was totally under Donald Trump's control. They basically donated to Freedom
Donald
250.
Trump.
And there is a massive amount of missing money in Freedom 250. All you need to do is look at the Great State Fair, whatever the fuck it's called, that's going on right now, and see that like they did not hire their best people. They did not hire the most competent people to build all of that stuff. So now there's a huge congressional investigation that is just getting started, and please God, Democrats win the House and the Senate and are able to fully investigate. But it looks like they have literally stolen millions and millions and millions of dollars from the 250th anniversary celebrations that were supposed to be occurring, and then basically painted some plywood and stapled it together on the mall and pretended like that was the thing that was always planned. There you go. Everything he touches, he turns to shit.
And
Wow.
possibly steals from, it sounds like.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
where is all
Right.
the
Turns to shit and steals from.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, America. Home of the free.
Right.
Oh my
Papa couldn't get you a good gift because he spent it all on hookers and booze and gambling. Sorry.
And MMA fighters.
Right. And yes. All right. So
My
that's mine.
sister-in-law used to do MMA.
Ooh, that's cool. I
Yeah.
mean, it is a tough sport, right? Like it is,
Oh, for sure.
it is brutal. If you
Nothing
do that,
against MMA.
yeah, you've got
Yeah.
you've got balls of steel or ovaries
Oh,
of
for
steel.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need a
Yep.
special kind of person to do that for sure.
Yep. All right, Ayana, we're going to run long, obviously, because we've only left you 5 minutes to do yours. I know you've got a whole story that you want to read. So, folks, we're
Okay.
going
Your time.
long today for Ayana.
It might be
Because
like
then we also
5
have
or
to ask
7
her
minutes.
our famous question. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Take all the time you need.
Okay. This week, I want to tell you about a cult. And I'll say up front, I grew up in one, and I've spent years since watching every documentary about them I can find. This one was new to me, and it's also one of the deadliest ones I've come across. It isn't from the 70s, and there's no compound. It's operating right now in the open as a multi-million-dollar business and is linked to deaths of women and babies around the world. But to understand how women end up there, you have to understand what pulls them in. And in this country, women have real reasons to be afraid of the system that's supposed to keep them safe. More than a third of U.S. counties are maternity care deserts. No birthing hospitals, no birth centers, not a single obstetric provider. Over 100 hospitals have closed their maternity units in recent years. In rural America, women are about 60% more likely to die in childbirth, partly because the nearest help is about an hour away. And since Roe fell, it's gotten worse. In Texas, in the first year of its abortion ban, maternal deaths rose 56%, and maternal sepsis jumped 50% because the doctors were afraid to intervene in failing pregnancies until it was legally safe to. So, picture a pregnant woman with no provider near her home who's watched the headlines about women turned away from ERs. She's been talked over, rushed, had things done to her without her consent. And the number one reason women give for eventually birthing completely alone is a previous traumatic hospital birth they never want to repeat. That distrust is understandable, and that's exactly the wound this group is built on. It's called the Free Birth Society. Founded by two influencers, neither with any medical training. And what they promote isn't a home birth with a licensed midwife. It's a birth with no one present at all. No doctor, no midwife, no trained help. They discourage ultrasounds. They push what they call wild pregnancy. No prenatal care whatsoever. Their podcast, one of the biggest birth podcasts in the world, has over 5 million downloads. It carries every marker of a cult, a charismatic leader, a fixed belief system, and one unbreakable rule. You don't question it, and you never seek help outside of it. This ideology reaches women through beauty and inspiring stories. I followed one of these influencers for a while, an Australian woman named Genty Fell, and her pregnancy was genuinely stunning to watch. She tracked it by the moon, not by due dates, not a calendar, just her round moonlit belly photographed under each full moon. It was serene. It was intuitive, sacred. She had a peaceful, wild pregnancy and a beautiful outdoor free birth. And for her, it was everything she had dreamt of. And honestly, I don't have a problem with that part. The empowerment, the intuition, the reverence for our body. I feel that too. And that's real and it's beautiful. But that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Because a young woman scrolling past that moonlit belly doesn't see the odds. She doesn't see the shoulder dystocia or the hemorrhage or the placenta that won't come. She sees peace. She sees safe. And she thinks, I want that. For Genty, it worked out. For the next woman, the one who actually needed a hospital an hour up the road, that same choice is how she dies. According to the peer-reviewed obstetrics journal, unassisted birth carries about 3 times the risk of a baby dying and up to 100 times the risk of a mother dying. The Guardian spent a year investigating one group and found 48 cases of stillbirths, newborn deaths, and serious harm connected to it. And they believe that it's an undercount because no one's tracking these deaths. When a woman gives birth alone and bleeds out, it doesn't get recorded as died because no help was present by choice. It gets recorded as died in childbirth. Take the case that's in Australian courtrooms right now. Last September, a 30-year-old wellness influencer named Stacey Warnicki free-birthed her son at home. She was so afraid of medical intervention that she had no prenatal care at all. She hired a birth keeper, a woman named Emily Lal, with no medical training, and paid her $6,000 Australian dollars, so that's like $4,200 here, to do it. The baby was born healthy. Then Stacey started to hemorrhage. She lost about 1.5 liters of blood, and Lal asked 3 times in 5 minutes whether to call an ambulance. Stacey said no, then no again. By the time she said yes, she was struggling to breathe. She died in the hospital a few hours later. And when the coroner's counsel pressed Lal, but you were being paid to be there, Lal answered, I've attended as a supportive friend. I'm not there to make a birth safer. I can't do that. I'm not clinically trained. It's not my role to assess blood loss. That's the whole mechanism. They sell you a sisterhood and empowerment. Your body knows what to do. We've got you right up until an emergency strikes. And then the responsibility vanishes and it becomes your choice and yours alone, even when the choice is bleeding out on the floor. The fear is real, the desire for autonomy, to escape a system that's genuinely failed people, that's real too. And as long as we keep closing maternity wards and running doctors out of whole states, I think more women will reach for this, not fewer. But autonomy without a backup plan is a death trap. And it's women and their babies who pay for it with their lives.
Beautifully written, and what a horror.
Congratulations, you just won Fucked Up Friday.
The chat.
I mean,
we haven't even asked people to vote.
Right,
Oh.
like people are already in the chat like Ayana won.
Thank you.
Even me, I'm like Ayana won.
Yeah,
yes, might be an overachiever, but I got really hyper fixated on it because, like, my personal story, I actually had a home birth. So if you want to read more about my story, I wrote an article that just came out this morning that you can check out. It has a picture of me pregnant on it. But I feel very passionately about this because, like I said, I'm totally fine with, a lot of this stuff. In fact, I promoted being intuitively connected, but you can't do that when you're brainwashed. You aren't connected to your intuition. Yeah. You're connected to whatever the organism is, right? The disease.
Oh my God. We've got to clip that, Ayana, what you just said.
Yeah.
You're
Beautiful.
not connected to your intuition when you're brainwashed. Oh my God. Yes.
So true. And my heart aches for these moms. And I never really made that connection until you just made it, Ayana, of the birth deserts, the fact that because of all of the draconian laws that have passed since Roe v. Wade fell, that there are now whole states that effectively do not have prenatal care. Yamisha Connor and I, who's an OB, did a whole episode about this. She was remarkable. And also, it's so risky now that medical students are not going into OB because it's too scary. So there's going to be, the problem is only going to get worse because it has a 15-year replenishment cycle.
Absolutely.
And right now is when it's draining. So yes, of course, this is appealing. I had 2 babies who are now giant teenagers. Birth is, you're so vulnerable. And that mantra of your body knows what to do is both empowering, but it's also so shaming. My body did not know what to do. I would have died in childbirth. I had 2 C-sections. My firstborn's head was asynclitic, which means it was cocked to the side. We pushed for hours and could not get that baby out. Also 90th percentile for head circumference. She's got a big head, but it was tilted. And I was in a hospital when I gave birth, and they had my birth plan and they respected it. And then they were like, you have in your birth plan that you don't want drastic forceps measures. Your baby's heart rate is declining. We need to change course. You are failing to deliver after 3 hours of pushing. And so I have 2 healthy babies and I came out fine. And sometimes the body doesn't know what to do.
Well, there's always an opportunity for unforeseen things, right? Because we can't plan for everything. And I understand because I literally went down a rabbit hole on this for the 10 months I was pregnant. So like, I know about all of this, like all the alternative stuff. I understand why people are so scared of having births in hospitals. I understand that there are a lot of interventions that do not need to happen that actually cause a lot of these issues. But I also think that, as far as emergency medicine, when there's an emergency, the best place to be is in a hospital. Absolutely.
Yep.
But yeah, I kind of get both sides. So if you ever want to talk about this specifically, I would be happy to do so.
Yeah.
Yes. And I just put Dr. Yamisha. I'm pausing that. I'm like, am I saying her first name correctly? I hope I am, Dr. Connor. I'm sorry if I'm not, but I put her link in the chat if you want to go follow her and subscribe to her work, because she's remarkable.
Mm,
And yeah, I totally get the birthing from home thing and wanting it to not feel clinical, to have it feel warm
mhm,
and welcoming. But to me, like, if that's what you want to do, like, do it and have a medical backup plan, be close
mhm,
to a hospital or birthing center,
mhm.
and to have no
Yep.
prenatal care paired with it. So you don't
Yeah,
know if your baby is breech, or you don't know if there are complications. Like,
exactly. I mean, a lot of these interventions, especially throughout pregnancy, they are like such a gift that we have them now. But I understand wanting to not have the fear of, whatever, right? Put into you every single time you go in for an appointment. There's kind of a balance between the two. I get why people
yeah.
don't want to, because I've heard so many women talk about, well, I went in and then they were like, oh, this horrible thing is going on with you. And then the next appointment I went in, they're like, actually, it's not. So you just spent a month being super stressed because I didn't measure properly or whatever it is. I experienced that at my 20-week appointment. They're
Oh my
like,
gosh.
oh, her ureter looks like it's a little too big or too small, whatever it was. And they're like, oh, yeah, that means she might have this rare condition. And so, of course, that freaks somebody out. And then I
Right.
went in for the next appointment 4 or 5 weeks later, and the doctor was like, oh, that's so ridiculous that they did that to you. Like, nothing's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with baby.
Oh my
You're
God.
fine. I
Oh,
know.
God.
So it's
Yeah.
things like that. I get why women are angry. Like there's so much that is wrong, but also like we can't throw everything out because we don't like something. And that goes
Right.
for all of it, for every part of everything, right?
Yeah.
Right. And if
For all the
something had,
communities that we agree
yeah,
with, that we don't agree with, we can't just throw people out. That doesn't work. They're still human, they're still people. These jobs that exist that are for helping people, they do help people. We just need to figure out how to make them more helpful and less harmful.
Uh, Ayana, thank you for bringing that forward. Like that is it's such an important story for us to know about, and you wrote it so beautifully. Clear, like I don't honestly, Dana. Do we need to vote? Like she clearly,
sure.
Ayana won.
Clearly Ayana won. If anyone in the chat feels differently, you
Right.
come fight with us. But
Just an
no,
Please write
overachiever over
management at
here.
thedailywhatevershow.com. Yeah.
I think this is
Oh,
the
thanks,
first
guys.
time that someone pre-wrote a story in
Yep.
preparation for Effed-Up
I just
Friday.
felt more comfortable doing that because like there were so many thoughts I wanted to share, but I get nervous. And so if I'm able to read it, it helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
All right. We should try to wrap up. Mayday is on right now. So, but Ayana, we have as you know, we have a very, very hard hitting and important question to ask you before we let you go.
Okay.
Dana, would you like to do the honors of asking the question?
I would, and we recognize this is not your generation, it is mine and Lawrence's. But we came up with this question at the very start, and we ask every guest the first time they're here. What is the most Gen X song of all time?
Oh gosh.
And off the top of
You
your head,
guys, what you don't understand is I was actually raised on music that's like from my grandma's generation. And then
oh, that's
also
so
like
cute.
church music. So
Of
like I
course.
didn't learn any secular music until I was well into high school.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
so a lot of the music I knew, especially back then, was like the stuff my brother snuck in. And
Yeah.
so, there's the what is it? You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammal, whatever that song is by
Yeah.
Bloodhound Gang.
Yeah,
Like that
let's
one, because
do
he
it.
wasn't supposed to listen to that, and Usher and other things like that. So I don't really have that much knowledge about Gen X. I'm trying to think if hold on.
All right.
My
Let's do
soil
this.
science professor was a part of a band called Information Society.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God.
I want
James
to
Cassidy.
know what you're
Yep.
thinking.
Yep.
Okay,
So
that
maybe
needs
that's
to be
the
on the
only.
list.
I'm sure I know other songs. It's just hard to think of one off the top of my head.
I
But yeah,
cannot
that's
tell you
he's my friend. Like
how
we are
much
very close friends.
I love that song, Ayana. I loved that song. I loved it.
That was our freshman year in college.
Oh,
He's
Like,
from
God.
Minnesota, by the way.
oh my God,
Like the whole band
that's-
is. They're best. Like they were best friends. I think
I
most
have
of them
not thought
still are.
about that song in forever. Jason Odell is keeper of the Apple Music and Spotify playlists. And everyone gets entered. We don't have Information Society on there.
Well,
Like,
there you go.
that-
I'm glad
that
I
song
found
was
something.
everywhere freshman year. How many
Oh,
times
God,
did
yes.
you dance to that song?
That whole weird,
Yeah.
yeah.
He
Amazing.
is just as cool in real life. And
Nice.
he teaches soil science now and has an organic farming and gardening like club that he set up at the school I went to. So I actually was a part of like leading that while I was in school. And that's been going for like 20 or 30 years now, something like that. And
gosh,
he's a
I love
really
it.
cool person. He's married to a winemaker. Like, they're just awesome.
Oh
Good
my God.
people.
They
A
sound
soil
incredible.
specialist
Tell
and a
him,
winemaker.
yeah, tell him he won Fucked Up Friday. Well, you won
Okay.
Fucked Up Friday, but his song got mentioned on Fucked Up Friday.
Awesome.
And that we went crazy because I seriously loved that song so much. That disc, like I remember buying it and listening to the whole thing, like back in the day when you listened to entire albums from beginning to end.
Yes.
I don't remember if I bought it. I can't think of another Information Society song, so I'm guessing I did not. But boy, did I love that
don't know
song.
either. Because that's really the only one I knew, and it's not really like my style of music that I reach for, but
Right.
like I love him, so I've listened to some of it, but it wasn't like my jam. But of course, that song I feel like most people can recognize. So
yeah, and here like it passes a test that we've come up with, which is if you were watching a movie and it was set in a time and they started playing that song, you would immediately know what time it was. Like you would immediately know when in history it was set because that song is so like iconically of that moment.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad it came to mind. I was like, wait a
Yeah.
second, that probably is.
It was great. Sorry to put you on the spot. You're clearly someone who likes to be prepared.
Well, it's
your
just
choice was
the
perfect.
tism in me.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
Capricorn.
And the Capricorn. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Dana, I have 7 placements in Capricorn.
My eldest is a triple Capricorn. I think
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. That's amazing. And while we're talking about astrology and things slightly woo, every new moon, Karen Marie Shelton and I have a show we do called Crone Cocktail Hour, where we set intentions for the new moon in the evening. And we would love for you to come on. We're going to have Shar Sundust on for the July one.
Nice.
But maybe after that in August or September, we would love to have you join us as we set our new moon
I'd love to.
intentions.
I love
It's a
writing
little
about the
witchy.
crone. I have like a whole series about the crone
Yeah.
because she's what we need right now. She's the one who's going to burn down the patriarchy.
Burn it
Just you
down.
wait.
I fully
We
fully
all
agree.
get our hormones when we need them.
Right? And we
Right?
don't have to read things that are like, oh yeah, there's no shortage. What are you talking about?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Completely
my gosh,
valid.
Ayana, this was so great. You've been such a delight. We're so
Oh.
honored that you would come join us. Thanks for
Thank
being
you
a friend.
for having me. I would
Um,
love to come back anytime. I think. Hi, Beans. That's Beans.
Yes. The chat is going nuts because you've got a black cat that showed up behind you.
I have 2. He's the older of the 2. He's like going to be 6.
Oh,
But
he's so
normally he's
cute.
outside. But today, like the last several days, it's like 96 today.
Yeah.
Wow.
So even our cats are like, actually, I think I'll stay inside today.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for all of this. Thank you to everyone in the chat who's been here with us. As always, you're part of the show. We love having you here. If you are around at 1 p.m., please come join me with the amazing Ellie Leonard on the equally amazing Blue Amp Media. We are going to be talking about my essay, The U.S. Hates Women, 4 years post-Roe. We just hit
That
a
it
very
does.
sad anniversary that I nearly missed. It's been 4 years since Roe v. Wade has no longer been law of the land.
Yep.
I can't even believe that. Even now, as I say it out loud, I'm like, wait, that can't be right.
No, that's right.
It's hard to believe how quickly time has flown and also how slowly.
Yes. Both
Yes.
at the same time. Yeah.
Can we fast forward this term?
All right, friends. We
It's
should
all
jump.
moving.
Ayana, thank you so much. Thanks everyone
Of
for
course,
being here.
thank you
We
guys.
love you, mean it. Bye.
Love you, mean it all. Bye.